I always wanted to be a sculptor. That's where I learned about life, and I used to do below the line advertising. So I went to every contact list and one person responded. First project was a farmhouse. My design philosophy is to have fun, have joy through design. Some say that what the fuck is this? So I would weigh more towards the Anurag Kashyap genre, and we had to curate a journey through that. So our factors is what is the experience that is consistent for the next 10 years, what is the delight that I want to create, and how do I influence you in a space. I am Abhigyan. I run a studio called Chrome Design Studio. It's been about 11 years in practice, and we've been doing architecture, interior, hospitality, cinemas, anything in the public realm. Offices from 5 lakh square feet to 500 square feet. That's what we do. I always wanted to be a sculptor, and I applied in NID. I didn't get through. So as an alternate, accidentally I dropped into architecture, and that's where I learned about life. I mean, I had to pay my fees. So I worked in an advertising firm, and I used to do below the line advertising, which is direct consumer marketing. And after those 5 years of experience in advertising, then I swapped into architecture, and that's how architecture happened. First project was a farmhouse, and so I was working for a firm called Morphogenesis for 3 years. Then I left the firm, and then I started hunting for work. So I went to every contact list of my phone, and one person responded that, okay fine, why don't you design this farm for me? And it was like a very super fun architecture project. It's a 2-acre farmhouse. But then people understood my philosophy. So that's what leads to one project, leads to another, leads to another. Design is very subjective. मतलब इतने parameters होते हैं. So from cost to current condition to a lot of aspects drive design. People are constant. Design will keep on changing depending upon the variables that will throw. My design philosophy is to have fun, have joy through design. A lot of things are never captured in photographs. So most of our projects are experiences. For example, we've done a social in Cyber Hub, which is like a chawl. So to some's delight, it is like a very beautiful project. To some say that what the fuck is this? So there's like a big difference. But the joy of entering into a different kind of a space, which is non-anticipated, is my contribution. So it's like you are a director of a movie, and the director has a certain style. And there is Sanjay Leela Bhansali and there is Anurag Kashyap. Both have good storylines, but one is a very beautiful set to see, and one is a very interesting story to hear, and they're of different genres. So probably I would weigh more towards the Anurag Kashyap genre, where the story is more fun than the final object. And as long as people understand the story behind the architecture, it is fun. एक है that the object is beautiful, एक है the experience is beautiful. So I'm the experience bit. So obviously a lot of travel, a lot of understanding of how people experience spaces. I'm very observant. So if I go to a train station, metro station, wherever I travel in the world, I observe how people actually use a space. So I'm more user-centric rather than a visual-centric. Like there are two kinds of pure architects. So there's a lot of, like, you can walk from point A to point B and feel a certain sense of delight. And you can start at point A and experience point B and just be happy about it. So my philosophy or my kind of journey is the walk and not the destination. So I would rather design the walk than the object of focus. So that's where I fall into in this entire scenario. How I've been to express myself is I've been getting larger scale public projects. For example, Bharti invited me to do Worldmark food court. It's a 50,000 square feet walk which connects two buildings, and we had to curate a journey through that. So we like doing these kind of public projects where a lot of people will just commute from one building to another building, and then you experience things in between. We are a very realistic firm. I mean, it's not that we are non-sustainable, but we look at a longevity of a project. Typically the realm that we are in lasts for 10 years. So whatever we build has to last for 10 years. In those 10 years, it has to live its lifespan. It has to grow old. till the time people get bored of it. So our factors is what is the experience that is consistent for the next 10 years, what is the delight that I want to create, and how do I influence you in a space. So probably my kind of first goal or my first parameter is the human who is experiencing the space. Then comes to a cost, because everything has to justify a certain kind of a cost in this socio-economical world, and then comes to selection of things that would last that time, and that's how we go about any project. We do extensive research on what we can create new. For example, we were researching on making a restaurant with plastic. So reusable plastic, creating a full form. So we poured plastic into floor and we created terrazzo made with plastic. Similarly, we made furniture out of Coke and Pepsi cans. So we like to invent materials rather than say that use materials. A lot of ways you mix two things and something new comes up. You don't know what is it's going to be used. Maybe something is designed for the flooring, I use it in the ceiling. So we keep on doing R&D and we keep on meeting people who are developing new products. And our team is constantly in touch with trying to create the right product. We've seen 10 years of things being built. So we've seen phases of things coming and going. But there are certain things that you pick and choose. And the beauty is we've done about 500 odd projects. Probably all projects have different materials. So it's not that architect has a palette and pick and choose from the same palette and use it. We would love to use new palettes every time we do a project, something new that we've not done previously. So we like exploring nuances in cracks, we like exploring nuances in materials and leaving it the way it is. It's very difficult to define what is interior, what is architecture. My understanding of things is whatever is intrinsic of a space is what I would love to specialize in. Whatever is extrinsic, that means someone would like to see it from outside, is not my forte. I mean, I've clearly defined it. And so if you are inside the space, you would love it. What's happening outside, I'm not the best guy to do that. We are architects, but we look at it from a very different perspective. The advantage of us doing an interior of a mall is that we understand services very well, we understand structure very well. So we tend to approach things holistically. And we do architecture also, whatever comes our way, whatever people would trust that to give us. At this point of time, we have got 45 live projects in every probably small and large city. We love small cities because they give us the freedom and they respect the architect in terms of do whatever you want to do. They will hire a professional understanding the merit that we bring to the table. Bigger cities are a little smart. They will hire the architect for the name of the architect and probably do what they want to do. I mean, at times now we've become very selfish. We do what we want to do and we try and convince the client that this is the best for you. We know that what the market is. So I mean, people hire us because they trust us to understand the local sense. Because we build so many projects around the globe, first and foremost thing is to understand what the market is and then create a product accordingly. Give them what we haven't seen, show them what is possible in their contextual settings. Challenging is after you do 500 projects, people will say you're repeating things. My biggest challenge is myself. So every time when you do something new, and similarly context, brief, everything is the same. He also wants to work with you, this guy also wants to work with you, but every time to create a new product. So the challenge once you go beyond a certain scale is that how to make newer, that's where you become selfish and say, now I want to do this. I feel this will fit best there. So we try and keep on doing new research for whatever comes our way. Life has become easier. People have started respecting professionals more. Between 15 years back and now, probably the value of a professional has increased. At the same point of time, number of professionals also increased. So it's balanced out because the value has increased and thousands of professionals have been created. So now probably the pie is getting bigger, but everyone has its own share. And in 15 years, people are extremely well educated and traveled, and access to understanding of what they want has increased. So before 15 years, the architect was kind of dominating the scene and saying this is the best thing for you. Now I am a negotiator. I would say that okay fine, you like this, but this is better for you. So the difference between domination to becoming more negotiating between various aspects is the role that has changed of an architect. because the client comes very prepared, and younger the client, more aware, more access to information he has, and things are changing very fast. So I mean, probably 3D is going to be obsolete, but there is a merit of technical knowledge and there's a merit of aesthetic knowledge. So probably the aesthetic knowledge has increased in awareness in the client, the technical knowledge is very low. So architect has to then balance the two. My message is like, constantly keep questioning yourself and keep trying to do things that you can't imagine. I mean, we have endless possibilities in our head. I probably can do 1,000 more things or 1 billion more things. But if I get saturated and think, nah, ठीक है, अब सब तो कर लिया, अब क्या फ़ायदा? So then you have to constantly challenge norms. So if something is that ये दीवार brick का ही बनेगा, or the TV is meant to be vertical or a horizontal thing, if you accept, then you are very conformist. And if you are not accepting that TV, why can't the TV be vertical? And we've done this. We've placed a vertical TV and we've got fucked कि अच्छा ठीक है, अब तो content तो सीधा ही चलेगा, ऊपर नीचे black band आ गया. But किसी को तो करना पड़ेगा ना. And out of 100 kind of attempts, we fail in 80 and we pass in 20. That 20 leads us to the next 100. So it's not that we are not afraid of failing or doing mistakes. And we do a lot of mistakes. And people screw us for that, but it's okay.